In the heart of Hong Kong's busiest district, people once claimed they saw something impossible. 7 fox faces staring from the marble walls of a brand new skyscraper in Causeway Bay. Crowds gathered, reporters rushed in, and whispers spread. Was it a warning or a curse? Tonight, we uncover the legend of the Windsor House fox spirits. Urban legends in Hong Kong have never been just stories meant to frighten people. They are often mirrors, reflecting our fear of the unknown, the weight of traditions, and the mood of the times. And in the 1980s, one incident in Causeway Bay, the Windsor House Fox Spirit Affair, became the perfect example. Before we talk about that case, we need to step back. What exactly is a fox spirit? In Chinese history and folklore, the fox has long been imbued with spirituality, often imagined as possessing human traits. In some regions, the fox was seen as a mountain spirit. Worship it, and it brings blessings. Offend it, and misfortune follows. Other traditions painted the fox as a seductress, neither wholly good nor wholly evil, capricious and dangerous. Chinese classics contain countless stories of foxes. One of the most cited comes from Strange Tales from a Chinese studio, Liao Zhai, The Scholar and the Fox. In that tale, a young scholar walking home at night encounters a beautiful woman, graceful and mysterious as mist. They fall into a nightly companionship, though curiously, she only ever appears after dark, vanishing with the morning sun. One night, the scholar follows her and discovers she returns to a fox's den in the wilderness. She finally admits she is not human, but a fox who has cultivated her powers long enough to take human form. Yearning for a fleeting taste of human love, she transforms back into a fox and disappears into the burrow. Another story takes a darker turn. In a certain village, infants repeatedly fell ill and died suddenly. Panic spread. One day, a passing Taoist priest told the villagers the truth. A fox spirit had disguised itself as a beautiful woman and was stealing into homes by night to drain the life force of newborns. The Taoist performed a ritual, burned charms, and cut off the fox's tail. The death ceased, believing utterly in his words. The villagers built a shrine to worship the fox spirit for peace and protection. Thus, the idea of the fox stealing infants became rooted in fear, lingering for centuries, and feeding into modern urban legends. With that background, let us return to Hong Kong in the 1980s, Causeway Bay. Skyscrapers and shopping complexes were rising everywhere, clad in glass walls and polished marble, symbols of prosperity and modernity. One such building was the Duke of Windsor Building, located where Windsor House now stands. The building had just been rebuilt, its lobby and exterior decorated with enormous slabs of marble, their natural veins twisting like flowing ink. Then one day, in the bustle of the street, someone looked up and claimed to see a face in the marble pattern, pointed ears, deep-set eyes, a long, thin mouth, strange and animal-like. What began with 1 or 2 curious onlookers soon became dozens. At first, people said they saw 1 or 2 faces, then 5. Eventually, the story spread that there were 7 fox heads etched into the stone above the entrance, 7 foxes at the gate. Crowds flocked to see. At lunchtime after school, as night fell, people gathered on the pavement, tilting their heads upwards. Some pointed, comparing which head was where. Others fell silent mid-conversation, swearing they felt a sudden chill creep up their spine. The media arrived. Flashbulbs popped, headlines screamed, "Fox faces in marble, 7 spirits at the door, ominous sign." The bolder the headlines, the wilder people's imaginations became. Crowds grew so large that even tenants could barely enter or leave. Security guards were overwhelmed. Inevitably, Feng Shui masters joined the spectacle. Some declared, "The fox is of yin energy. 7 is an unlucky number. This foretells bloodshed, loss of wealth, or death in the family." Others said, "This is an evil omen. If not dealt with quickly, calamity will strike." From this point, the stories began to branch out, eventually coalescing into 3 main threads. Thread 1, the infant spirit. The building's top floor housed a restaurant. One evening, a family held a joyous banquet to celebrate the birth of a child. But according to gossip, they failed to pay respects to the fox spirits or burn incense in the lobby. Days later, the infant fell mysteriously ill and died. Whispers spread. The fox spirits had taken revenge, stealing the baby's soul. No proof ever surfaced. Yet the rumor spread relentlessly from newsstands to street corners. Thread 2, the night guard. One version tells of a night shift security guard finishing work in the small hours. The air conditioning was off, the streets outside silent. Then faintly, he heard a baby crying. Sometimes it seemed to come from behind a pillar, sometimes from inside the cracks of the stone itself, now near, now distant, carried like the wind. Frozen, he turned toward the infamous marble wall. The eyes of the 7 fox heads, he swore, glowed faintly red in the dim light. Terrified, he ran from the building and never returned, resigning the very next day. Thread 3, the rooftop playground. Another tale claimed that, after countless meetings, the building's owners decided to appease the spirits with kindness. On the rooftop, they built a small playground, 2 swings, a slide, and a few rocking horses. By day, the gates were padlocked. By night, the place was pitch black, like a deep well. Residents in nearby towers swore that, at times, they saw tiny figures on the swings, swaying gently back and forth. No laughter, no crying, just silent motion, like the last frozen frame of an old television set before it flickers off. The interpretation, it wasn't for children at all, but a playground built for the fox spirits and the souls of infants they had claimed. As the rumors flared hotter, tenants began to move out. Faced with economic pressure and public panic, the management finally acted. They summoned reporters and, in front of flashing cameras, ordered the entire marble slab removed. Cranes rose, tarps were spread, drills shrieked against stone. Eventually, the crowd dispersed. But of course, the legend did not. The wall was replaced with new marble, yet the story remained, etched into the city's memory. Between fact and fear, this was not merely an urban myth. But how do such legends form? Psychology has a term, pareidolia. The human brain is wired to find familiar shapes, especially faces, in random patterns. The veins and shimmer of marble make such illusions almost inevitable. When the first person says, "It looks like a face," the second person will agree, "Yes, it really does." From there, the snowball rolls on. And in 1980s Hong Kong, the social climate was primed for such beliefs. People balanced skepticism with deep superstition, ever sensitive to omens. Media coverage, street gossip, and cultural anxieties intertwined. In that atmosphere, one marble slab was enough to set the whole city whispering. Today, walking through Causeway Bay, neon floods the streets, shoppers crowd the pavements. The Duke of Windsor building is long gone. In its place stand Windsor House and Windsor Plaza, glass facades gleaming with shops and traffic lights. That marble slab has long been replaced. Urban legends do not need answers. Their very existence is the answer. So if one night you find yourself sheltering from rain outside Windsor House, look up just for a moment. If you glimpse a face, exhale and tell yourself it's only the marble pattern. If you see nothing, then your fortune is good. Either way, don't linger too long, because sometimes what unsettles you most isn't on the wall, but standing just behind you.